All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 41, our final of the regular season. We'll have some postseason content later, but this is the final race of the year, and we're going to go over our immediate thoughts on what we just witnessed this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, what is expected to be the final iteration of the winner-take-all championship format that started in 2014 with Brian France searching for that Game 7 moment. So with that, we'll start with the Cup because that's raw and right there in our memory. Um, I want to start with Friday and the tires because I think that plays a major part into today and how Friday with practice, or not Friday, was it Friday they practiced? No, Saturday.
Yeah,
No, Friday
Friday
they
practice,
practiced,
Saturday
qualified.
qualified.
So Friday they practiced, and we immediately had issues with tires going down. Um, just so I'm clear before I make this statement, this was a totally brand new tire, right? That we went with.
The left side was the
Just the
right
Right.
left.
side. The
So we
right
brought
side was the same from New Hampshire, and
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the same as the spring. Pretty sure.
So we brought an untested tire to pair with a recently improved high wear tire, and we immediately saw issues with it in opening of practice. Like within laps, we were tires blowing, multiple cars, red flags, hard hits in the wall, which I think led to the issues we had today because the drivers never had an opportunity to make long runs on the tires to find the right balance of and threshold of what the tire would take for today's race. Because every 5 or 10 laps, even 15, somebody was blowing a tire and hitting the wall because they came so aggressive. Um, so that's my initial thoughts right there immediately on practice. What about you guys?
Uh,
Uh, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead.
I I mean, with me working, it was kind of limited. I really haven't even watched the full truck race. I mean, I've kind of skimmed through it, but I haven't watched the full thing. But what I did get to watch of practice, I really wasn't even watching. I was listening to some of it while I was working. I just for I'm kind of confused as to the the left side is what changed, but the right side is what we have problems with.
No, the left side is what went flat quite a few times on Friday.
Yeah.
And there was flats today that was left sides. It was kind of 50-50 today, but it was the rear left that was having the most issue in practice.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I was trying to listen to some of that because I'd been working.
The
Yeah, I
the
didn't get
thought
to watch.
was
Yeah, go ahead.
that it was sorry. The thought was that it was them using the apron or barely cutting the apron and low tire pressure because
Low air pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So last week the low recommended low at Martinsville was 12. This week was 14. That's recommended. That's not, you know, you
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
stay above this. So
I think Todd Gordon said on Sirius this weekend, leading into this race, that he had run. Now, obviously, this is the older tire, the higher sidewall, but if they were recommending 12, he'd be starting with like an 8 or a 7. So you're cutting off for 30 to 40% of the recommendation and then expecting everything not to go sideways on you.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
with a
There's
$200,000 sports car.
yeah. And
sports car. Sports
the
car, you said it.
I
the
know.
right, well, the load shed, I think what led to the right sides failing so much today was the fact that now, because we're finally at longer runs, higher speeds than what we got in practice, because we never could get up to a rhythm, now you're actually seeing the load of the car shift and with the body roll through those high speed, dog leg and entering into those sharp corners, the car's rolling over. So the beat of the tires rolling over and it's cutting them down along with the soft rubber.
Now, I will say this is obviously all I know on the tire thing is the tire that Larson popped today was due to a flat spot. He got into a corner too hard. He flat
Okay.
spotted the next lap. The tire went down. So that was a what do you call it? Just a random anomaly
Yep.
where everybody else. I mean, I guess Byron popped a right front too, but I don't believe his was due to a flat spot. He just cooked a bead, I guess. He maybe he was overcooking the brakes. Who knows? But
Yeah.
everybody else was cutting rear tires and not front tires.
Yeah. So we go from practice where we know we have a tire issue, hoping it'll get better. So Saturday they qualify. The Champ Four all qualify fairly well, first, third, and
Second,
fourth,
first, second, third, and the
first, second,
14th.
third, yeah, and 14th. And then Blaney, who ultimately won. I figured he was going to win the other way, but um, you know, again, qualified toward the back, came blazing through from mid pack at the very opening, and so did Logano, impressively. So, uh, those guys they were on it. Just showed you like how lucky everybody else was that they weren't in the final four discussion because they were easily just as good as the four cars competing today. So now let's get into the race. I'm still processing what I saw. Uh, I'll say I feel like I don't know if it's the championship portion of it that makes it feel this way, but like I feel like this was our best short track race of the year by far. Even though this tire was chaotic, I think because you had so many tire issues and so many natural cautions, you got plenty of chances for both restarts and for strategies, which led to a lot of passing, even for the lead at times. And then those stage three restarts were like unbelievable. The things that Larson and Denny and Byron did on those restarts, the high passes, the low passes, and everything. Which without that softer tire, they're just not going to be able to do. We've seen that. We know that from prior years. So, what's your initial feeling after the race? Separate from, Larson wins, but just we'll start with just your overall feeling about the racing compared to the other short tracks this year.
Well, I still think Richmond was the best short track race this year. I believe that race was phenomenal. Hard to beat that race because it actually had true fall off. This race, there was, I mean, over a 40 lap run, they had a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds of fall off, and that's not enough for me. Just me. I mean,
Okay.
I'm probably in the 5% that I want like fall off. I want them to have hard time handling the car. This was just the car was going slower. This was just, they weren't having a hard time controlling the car. It was just the car was slow. It went from they ran 2780s to start out, and then they were running 2950s when they pit. So like, you know, tire wise, I didn't feel like that was enough fall off or, not the right kind of fall off for me. And you were worried about tires popping left and right.
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, Denny got lucky early when his left rear was going down. That I can't remember what
Yeah,
caution it was.
Yep.
Then he got insanely lucky because he would have wrecked that. Like that was a left rear going down, not a right rear like Briscoe had. He had a left rear going down.
Yeah. Well, that was early
That
on when
would
he and
have
Larson both had
that would
tires
have backed
coming.
him into the wall.
Yeah. Well, they both had cords showing on their tires at the end of the first stage, both Larson and Denny at different, one was on the front, one was
Cliff
on the
didn't
back.
seem Cliff didn't seem concerned about it. He said it was one cord and it was
Yeah.
like barely. But
Yeah. I'm assuming they backed off some, thinking they needed to protect the tires because you didn't see
yeah,
him have too many more issues after that. But it did
they
bury
pumped the
him.
tires up.
Yeah. So it did bury him back in the field, though, to where they really weren't able to get back to the front until we got to the end with later restarts. But uh,
AJ Allmendinger, my God.
that's somebody who's
If
probably glad
if
to be
he
done
doesn't
too.
retire in the off season from just this weekend, I I love the little guy to death, but man, if he doesn't retire this off season from potential concussion he possibly got this weekend, I'll be shocked because he took some licks this weekend.
Yeah, he took some hard hits. The next hardest hit by far has to be Ryan
The two.
Sieg in the 41 car. Like there was
Oh,
no back into that car left.
yeah, yeah.
It was straight, like here's the rear glass. There was no rear axle. There were no wheels. Like that
And
car was just
unfortunately, all
gone.
I saw was the aftermath of that. I saw because I was watching what is that video called on that CW app where it's you can watch but there's no audio. The
Oh,
battle
okay.
cam. So the battle cam showed the like they were on him. I looked away, and the next thing I looked back, and he's tore up.
He's got
So
a
I
less.
don't
He's got
know.
1/3 less car. Yeah.
Yeah. So it it looked bad. The car looked bad, but I don't know what the impact looked like. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
So back to
as
Saturday. Yeah.
far as sorry, as far as the tires, I just felt like they should have put more emphasis on this race. Goodyear, NASCAR. Yes, you want tire fall off, but you don't. I've said it before. Well, you don't want tires like Bristol. You don't want tires to fall off.
Right.
You don't want tires to pop. And
Yeah. And so we weren't.
I know the crew chiefs are the problem in this scenario, but Briscoe had a tire pop twice in the race, once
Mhm.
in practice, and I'm sure they weren't just leaving it in the same spot. You know,
Actually, I think
maybe
Briscoe
to
had two go bad.
stagger. He had two in the race,
Yeah.
one in practice. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they weren't just keeping it on the same pressures, and I'm sure it's probably a stagger issue.
Yeah.
But there's Austin Dillon had a tire go down. You had the 10 go have a tire go down, and you know so on and so
Which.
forth. That it's just kind of they didn't really show up, but the 38 had a tire go down.
Yeah.
There are
The
so many
Ford had a
cars that
tire
had
go
tires
down.
go
Yeah.
down, and it's like
Well, again,
it
I not to make excuses for Goodyear, but I do think NASCAR finally gave them a long practice window, and we never got to see it because guys were wrecking because they
yeah.
were as aggressive as they normally are without feeling out the tire, and we never got long runs. We never got past a 15. The longest run was a 15, 16 lap run under green. Well, you're
I
never
mean,
going to see what the limit of the tire is that way.
I have
Uh,
something to say about that.
yeah, go ahead.
Get rid of the stupid ass condensed where everybody's fucking tripping over each other, just like they did in Vegas, where they turned it into a 2 day show. So when stuff like that does happen, guess what? You can extend the practice if needed and actually give them the time that they need to see what the tires are going to do instead of, oh, well, we burnt half the hour because we were under caution because tires kept coming apart. Okay, so then how are you supposed to see what happens on the end of a long run then?
Yep,
Because
they
you put
Well,
yourself in a time constraint.
what you didn't see is they red flagged it each time.
yeah, they
They
kept
didn't take
adding
time away.
time. They did keep adding time. They'd add 3 or 4 minutes here, 3 or 4 minutes there, but it's
But you couldn't do a true long run because
but it
of it.
still shows you how far off we've gotten since 2020 and COVID, where efficiency has been an enemy to creating good racing, especially
Hmm.
when you're going to introduce a new wild card. You know, I I am for the softer tires, but I am not for introducing a totally unknown factor into your championship with as tight as everything is. I just don't think that's right. It's still the same for everybody else, but if you wanted to run this tire, we should have been doing it earlier. Not, all right, well, this is going to be a major factor in the championship. Good luck. And it was a major factor. It took Byron out of it. It took Briscoe out of it. It almost took Larson out of it. And ultimately, it took it away from Denny because when Byron lost his, he wasn't able to get the car off the track without going into the wall and brought out the final caution that ultimately cost Denny his title, his finally long-awaited title after 20 years, where he had that thing firmly locked up. Um,
The one time this year that Byron didn't find a way to fuck Larson out of something.
right. Or get fucked by Larson,
One time
or get
we
screwed
we
by
get
Larson.
Chris,
Being a
we get
good
1
teammate.
year. We get
Yeah.
1 year.
So,
So
um,
I guess this was the time to have it then, huh?
right.
Yes.
So, all right. So obviously the end result is Larson is now a two-time champion. And so first I want to say congratulations, Blake. I'm happy for you. I want that on the record. Because it does feel hollow in a lot of ways right now, just because of the format. It's not absolutely nothing wrong with what Larson did. It's just like last night with Jesse Love to me in a lot of ways, just because of the circumstances. And none of them are to blame against Jesse Love or Larson or even Corey Heim, who managed to save NASCAR from having three shit shows in a row, where you got the people with the best, you know, results and the best car that day and the best setup and clearly the best, strategy. And it comes down to, like it kind of always does, just total chaos.
Hmm.
Um, which is why we have got to, and I'm glad they are getting rid of this one race decision making deal, because if we had had multiple races, you probably still end up with the same result, but it doesn't
Yep.
feel like this, because Larson was in contention to win at Talladega. He was in contention to win last week. He was in contention to win at Kansas.
He should have
Like
won Vegas.
like he should have won
Yep.
Vegas. Like you know, he still
They
probably
definitely got better
now,
after Darlington for
if we had
sure.
had the 3-3-4 format that they're talking about as one of the options, Larson would more than likely still be your champion or second place. And Hamlin
Yeah.
would have been the alternate. But then Christopher Bell would have been right still in the mix too.
Yep.
So yeah,
So
it's a very odd feeling. Go ahead.
so my here's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm elated. I'm excited. I when I had my mom here, my fiance were she so since we started well, since we got together, he hasn't won a race at all.
I see.
And
So she's the
she
jinx.
started thinking she was a jinx.
Wow.
Yep. She started thinking she was a jinx. So, the last caution happened. She doesn't like Byron, so she's celebrating his
Yeah.
catastrophe. I thought it was funny, but her reaction was funny. She's like, "Oh yeah, but you know the the whole scenario panned out, and they called the last pit stop. They called it was money. Money was two tires,
Yep.
and he asked Larson, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "Let's do money." So they did two tires. Now I'll say when Denny took four, I'm thinking Corey Heim. He's going to do the
Yep.
same thing Corey Heim did. He lined up the same spot,
Yep.
same inside row, and I was actually aggravated at Larson because he took the outside lane. So he
Oh,
actually gave up a row to Denny,
Yep.
or
oh,
not a row, but like
I was livid.
he didn't give up a row, but he gave up the defending line. Is how I looked at
Yeah.
it. And even before they got to turn one, when the green flag dropped, if you watch back, Denny was right beside him
Yep.
going into one. And that high side is how he won the championship. He got around people, and Denny was blocked in. So,
Yep. More
but
more
back to the
people definitely
caution,
crowded low than crowded high that time compared to previous restarts.
back to
It
the
just
caution. When Denny took four, I told my fiance, I told my mom, I said, it's over. I said, there's no way we're going to hold him off. And they're like, why do you say that? I said, look what Corey Heim did on Friday. He's going to do the same thing. And he really didn't. And he didn't go that. He went low, but he didn't
Yeah.
nowhere near. And he probably could have pulled it off had he done that because he was
I,
the first on four tires.
yeah,
Well,
but
I was
I
wondering
don't
if
think Joey was going to let him go though, because Joey was right in front of him, and as soon as
But
Hamlin started to shade, fucking Joey took off, Boop, just right straight
I
to the left.
agree. I agree with Jeff Burton and also what is the guy that was 47? What's his name?
Dowdy.
Um,
Doherty.
Daughtry.
Doherty doesn't own the 47 anymore.
Daughtry didn't think he should have pitted, and
Yep.
Jeff Burton thought he should have took two, and that would have been the right call. He had a
Yep.
strong enough car. Taking
Either
four
one of
was
them would have won him the race, I think.
yeah. He
I
he taking four there on. I think they only had like what 15 laps on their tires.
Yeah.
That's you just took four. You didn't
Well,
need to take four again.
we just took four before that though, with only like 10 or 12 laps on our
That's what
tires.
I'm saying.
And you
You didn't
took
need to do that.
so I thought for sure. So I want to make sure I give Kyle Larson his props and Cliff Daniels, because they took rights again
Yeah.
even though lefts had been the one that everybody had problems with, and he'd gone through 2 pit cycles with the same lefts. And when he put those rights on, I was worried he was going to have a tire problem. And with Denny
So
taking 4, I was like, there's no way he's going to be able to make it stick on the outside with no left grip to make the car pull through the corner.
so
And the way he ran it high, I was just blown away that he was able to make that high pass work the way he did.
interesting fact, or I don't know if it's a fact, but it's just what I take away from watching the onboard all day. He never had any left side tire issues. His left side tires look great all day.
Yep.
So his right sides were the issue. He had a cording on the right front before. He had obviously had the right front blow out, and he had the right rear that was basically wearing down to the pinhole, the edge of the pinholes every
Yeah.
run. So left sides weren't the issue. So I thought it was an ingenious call on Larson and Cliff both to go on it. I just didn't think it was going to work. But I will say, checker drops, champion. I'm jumping up and down, fiance, mom, we're going nuts. But I said it right there. I said, I'm so excited, but man, I feel bad for Denny because
Yeah.
on this day, he had the best car, they had the best strategy, but it just didn't work out. And I said it then too. I said I'm so excited, but I'm so glad this system's done. So glad because this system just does not work. We talked about it earlier in the chat. 2021, Larson wins 9 races, and he's fourth with 35 laps to go in playoffs. How ridiculous is that? Now he did end up winning the championship. He had a 4 tire stop that was insane and won the championship then. But you have Chase Elliott win the championship 2020 on a year that not only did Denny Hamlin win 8 races, but the Harvick wins 9. Harvick's not even in the final 4. This system has been broke since day one.
Yep. Well, I mean, you could go back to the very first year. Ryan Newman makes it all the way to the final 4 and is within a restart of clinching the
Yep.
title,
Yep.
having won nothing all year long, and basically pulling a Daniel Hemrick like he
Yep.
did in the Xfinity, or
That's
there's
another example.
yep,
Hemrick basically moved somebody out of the way to win the championship, and
yep.
his first win in the championship. That's is
Crafton won it without winning all season.
so did
The other guy,
Austin Dillon.
yep. Like so, yeah. It's mixed emotions for sure.
And I have to say, I have to put the
There's been
stat
plenty
out
of
that I
years.
told you guys beforehand. In the full season standings, full season Larson wins.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm not going to be jaded about it because people are going to come at me and people are going to say he didn't deserve it. Yeah, he did. He proved throughout the entire year that he Matt Kenseth that shit to death.
He had
yeah.
Essentially,
more stage wins than anybody else all season, didn't he?
I don't believe so.
Byron, up until the playoffs, Byron was the stage point king.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he was where he
Now
was.
up to May when he won his last race, he was killing them. But after the Indy 500 crap, he
Yeah,
kind of fell off a cliff. But
Did you see that?
as
Did you see
far
that
as
picture I
as
sent you
far as when,
just right before we got on here? He's the first driver to ever qualify for the Indy
yeah,
500 and
I've
then
seen
win
it
a Cup
already.
championship.
I would
But
really like to, now that the season's over and this coming week he's going to go up on stage and accept his second ring. I would really like for them to come out in the postseason and say what the thing they had to work through was, whatever it was. Was
they're
it
not going
team?
to.
They're
Was it,
not going to.
you know, because obviously we saw a dip in performance and we've seen them swing back the other direction. They're still not to where they were pre-double, but it was good enough to finish the job off based on the circumstances we had. I'm I'm expecting them to rally back to their prior performance, knowing the double will not be on the schedule
Yeah,
next year for them, and they won't have.
And,
any types of distractions like that. So
and if you really look at this from Larson's day to day, it looks just like Justin Allgaier's last year,
Yeah.
just like it. I mean, he didn't have a dominant car, but
yeah.
he had an issue late. He got his lap back, and he drove. He got to the top 10 on his
Oh,
own, and this stuff happened, and it made it paying out. But it gave me Justin Allgaier vibes, is what I was wanting to say.
and honestly, I think Larson could have won the race if he had pushed it, but he knew
Oh
he didn't
yeah,
have to.
he could have split them in the middle, 1 and 1, or three. I keep saying I still call it one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so
Every time
hard
I
not
look at
to.
it, when
God,
I look at the campers all lined up on the back stretch now that used to be the front stretch, I'm like, God, they fucked this track up.
yeah, they
But
did. And
um,
and did you guys see? Probably not. So I have three TVs in my living room now. I had the race on the right. I had William Byron's on the middle, and I had Larson's up in front of me. So Larson's celebrating, and they got Byron going down pit road. Could not see 5 feet in front of you because of the sun. The
oh
sun
yeah,
plays.
yeah.
Like
Those final
you've got to
30 laps.
change. You've got to put up more grandstands. You only have 42,000 people grandstand. Put some more grandstands up that block the sun so that the drivers can drive at the time of day that you're running the race.
Yeah.
That
Just
makes too much sense.
All right. Anything else with the cup race we want to touch on?
um, I mean, I just I still can't believe what happened. I'm still in utter shock that Hamlin is not your champion this year because of the
Yeah.
day he had. I just want to
And the
keep.
year. I
I
mean,
want to
he
reiterate. I
he
want
had
to
60
reiterate. He
wins.
had 6 wins. 6 wins. He had his 60th win this year. I mean, he had to miss a race in Mexico because of his birth of his child and everything.
Yep.
But he had probably his second best year in his career, and he comes away with an empty cup. So I mean, he's
Well,
officially. I mean, he already was, but he's ahead of Mark Martin in the best driver with
to
no
never win
title.
one. So I was getting ready to say let's move to the next race, but I want to take a minute and talk about I want to talk about HMS just as a whole. Larson comes there in 2021 after being suspended, then let go from CGR over you know, the whole racial slur deal during COVID, during the gap. So he signed, he comes back, he wins 10 races in the championship in his first year, following his teammates win the prior year, where Chase won five and won the championship. Since then, we've had 4 years since then. Byron is still 0 and collect zero goose egg for collecting a championship, and Chase is
And he's been in three in a row.
and he's been in three in a row, and now Larson's sitting there with two. Um, you know, up to this point, people wanted to say like, oh well, in the old car he had this advantage or that advantage. That's fine. You can do that, but there's no question now who is the A driver at HMS. It's Larson.
It's Bowman.
Oh, okay. Well, according to that one tweet, he's going to be out of a job next year. I haven't seen anything else like that yet, but we'll see. We'll find out more, I'm sure, as the fall, or as we head toward Christmas and into the new year. But um, I think if you would ask most HMS fans, they did not have that on their bingo card. With Larson having two championships before Byron gets one, and Larson having two when Chase has been stuck at one, when everybody thought he was Chase the Ace and Byron was, Lord Byron, the second coming of Jeff Gordon, and da 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 da. So I just wanted to bring that up.
So,
Like I like that for
so,
Larson fans because the Byron and Chase group, even though they're inside the same HMS house, are just fucking obnoxious. So even
I,
though
I do I do think today you're going to see something crazy happen at the ceremony in a couple days. I think because of today, voting is going to get out of hand, and Denny Hamlin will win most popular driver. He's in the running already.
Yeah, he was qualifying for it. He was in there.
So I think today might put him over the top. I mean, that'd be insane if it happened like that. But
I
it,
honestly wouldn't have. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if he got out of the car right there on pit road tonight and said, "Yeah, thank you guys, and I won't be back."
Yep, I'm out.
I think if
I
there wasn't a potential, or not a potential, but the fact that there is going to be a new title type
Yep.
next year, I think if they were doing this again and again, I think he would have done that. I think there's a good chance.
But yeah,
I mean,
because
there still is a chance.
before we leave the Cup weekend, yeah, the following the race and post race, he basically said his fun meter is pegged and he doesn't want to race a car again. Like that's obviously in
Did
the
he say that?
Haggerty defeat, but Denny did.
Damn.
So I mean, sounds a lot like Carl Edwards, who walked up there, shook their hand, was like, we'll go get him next year, and then having a couple days to reflect, walked into Joe Gibbs' office and said, "I'm out." That
Be a good way to hand Corey Heim a ride.
yeah. I mean, I was really wanting, not just because of all the circumstances for Denny, just in his personal career, but I really, really, and I know our buddy Chip, who's not with us because of the trial, I wanted him to hoist that cup and then walk right into the court settlement room for the lawsuit
Oh,
and fuck her
hey,
down here and been like,
I I wanted to see that as a Larson
handoff.
fan. With
Yeah.
Larson being in there, I wanted to see him win the championship so I could see Steve Phelps handing him a trophy
Yep.
and,
Because
and, and having to
Carl
see how he would react.
have him squirm.
Having to, yeah,
Oh,
like
well,
you earned this to do.
not only a week from now, hand Denny Hamlin that fucking trophy, but then 3 weeks after that, walk in and set that fucker on the table right there in the fucking courtroom.
and like, so your current reigning champion is suing you, huh? So we will
Uh,
get to
Two
that
years in a
at the
row, we
end
could
here.
have had wonderful shit happen, and it didn't happen.
But like apparently
they're
the
fucking up the
PR
storylines.
the PR fairies did not swing in our favor completely. They were still good. I mean, we had a lot of stuff NASCAR got punched in the face plenty this weekend
Yeah.
overall. Because the other thing I wanted to say about the Cup thing, I cannot believe. So this is your pinnacle moment of the season. How little give a shit does NBC have for this sport that it's not even like we rolled over to a live football game. We rolled over to basically the weekend in review so far, not even the lead up into the next game yet. And we haven't finished driver interviews or anything. They threw that fucker on Peacock. Like you couldn't tell me that your premier partners could give a shit less about airing your product than what they did tonight.
Yeah, championship. Yeah.
They didn't even interview the winner before they went off the air. And I was like, what the fuck is
Well,
going on? I'm like, are they coming back on?
let's be honest, they never really care about the winner at the championship race.
No, but I mean, you have a race winner, you have the championship guy in defeat. Like they didn't even get Denny. It was like they started talking to Kyle and we just went off the air. I was like, where the hell did it go? I'm looking at USA. I'm like, it must have gone to Peacock. And then it is there on Peacock. And it takes you, however long to bring up the app and all that shit.
Oh,
And I'm like, this is the second most important race in the current format to the Daytona 500. It's the championship. And it got no post race coverage. It wasn't even like it ran that long. It had one green white checker. One.
and do any of you guys have a way to reach out to the Burtons, especially like Kim, and see if she knows that the relationship that's going on with apparently her, Denny and Jeff, because he gagged on him all night. Good Lord,
Oh my
dude.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
my hell. I
I
kept getting
wanted,
up and walking out of the room.
yep. I wanted to reach to the TV when Jeff Burton wouldn't shut the hell up of like the last thing Denny wants to see is a caution. I'm like, the last thing I want you to do is speak it into reality. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut your goddamn mouth, dude. Like,
uh,
stop speaking that evil into the world there, Bobby. Like, shut up. So Oh man.
Uh,
So then we move to Xfinity. And Blake will be back in a minute. Did you get to watch any of that at all, Chris?
I watched the Xfinity, and I think really for as egregious as this system might be, I mean, I agree with a lot of what everybody's saying. We've talked about it. The podcasts have talked about it, or the other podcasts have talked about it. There is not one perfect system. There's not. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to find flaws no matter what way you look at it. But I think to be overall, the fairest way to do it is a 36 race season. Run
Yeah.
the entire season. Whoever did the best at the end. It doesn't matter. We've seen time and time again, all the way back to when they wanted to throw out there when Benny Parsons won the championship and he only finished on the lead lap one time, and that was the race that he won. But yet they didn't put in there and say, I think it was Junior brought it up, that they just happened to leave the information out that so they didn't say out of the 28 races they ran that year, there was only 12 times that there was actually more than one car that even finished on the lead lap that season. More than
Okay.
50% of the race, there was only one car on the lead lap. So
Yep.
I just, the thing for me yesterday is when it came to the mid part of that race, when just the performance and the adjustments they made on that two car, they weren't going to beat him. Once you
No.
hit the mid part of that race, you could tell that two car was better than the rest of them.
Yeah, I was impressed, Okay, so again, nothing against Jesse Love. Won
Hey,
the
you gotta say it
race.
right. Say it right. Say it right. Go ahead. Like Jesse Love.
Oh, oh yeah, for Brett. I'm like, what? I'm like, McLovin? Where's his, he needs a driver's license on the back of his thing next year that says Champ McLovin. You know.
Yeah.
Jesse
Uh,
Love.
yeah, I mean, by the middle of the race, like but prior to the end of that second stage, it looked like Allgaier had him whooped. And
Yeah.
then they got behind and they just never got back up to it. But then Zilich finally made some adjustments in the right direction and just honestly, the way things fell again, the two made the adjustments to come back forward, and then they made the pass was made on the racetrack. It was made clean. It wasn't made on some restart. It was made with good hard racing.
Yeah.
That's why, even though, again, Connor Zilich is the rightful champion, no questions about it. Under this format, it's Zilich, but at least
Not
I
only did Zillage not win the driver's title, he also missed out on the owner's title.
I I cannot say how much I hate the separation of the two. If you don't qualify for the final four with the driver, you don't qualify with the owner. Like they need to get that because Eric Almirola up in there mixing it up for the owners championship, not quite capable enough to win, but keeping the two guys separated for the driver's title is just a bad look.
Hmm.
Either
Well, yeah, and
pass them,
he was kind of racing like a dick.
yep, either get up there and pass them, get the fuck
No,
out of the way.
he never races like a dick. What are you talking about?
Hi, Riley. What are you doing, babe?
Eric Dick Almirola, 88. But yeah, I that really bothered me. Just the fact that,
Come on.
you know, and we've had this system for a long time, and it's they need to address this. We've had this for years where it'd be Penske and Kyle Busch up there,
It's going to
Kate
get worse next
Todd.
year
Yeah. So it's going to get worse next year,
because
probably.
Cup
Yeah.
drivers now have the opportunity to run 10 races
Yeah.
in O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
Oh,
And
God damn it, Riley.
Nope, that's
right,
not
guy,
the
calm
commercial.
down.
It's O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So, and then you have, I believe, it's 8 in trucks. So, I mean, the potential's still there.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Once we got to the middle of the race and the two team kept working their way forward, that was it. JRM honestly coughed that one up. And that one,
They had
you
3
went in there with
chances at a
three
driver's
cars.
title and
Yeah, you
2
had
at an
every
owner's
chance to
title.
win both, and you walk out with nothing. Um,
You
you
had
know,
one job.
yeah. I don't know if any of y'all saw it, but in one of the post-race interviews, uh, Connor Zilic took a swipe at Mamba Smith, the chief hype officer. Uh, when he was in one of them, and they said, when the moment was this or that, and he's like, I guess the lights were just too fucking bright. Because Mamba always likes to say, when the lights are
Did he
brightest.
say fucking?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they cleaned it
Okay.
up in the thing, but I was like, oh shit, that's his way of
That's
taking a dig
awesome.
at him. So,
I,
um,
I Mamba needs to go back and watch some races from the '90s and the early 2000s before we had this system,
well,
and see what
yeah.
point racing was about. Because
Well,
obviously he's never watched a true title contention
I'm not
without.
gonna pick at it. I don't understand where his enjoyment of it comes from, and I actually want to have a debate with him. He's invited me to do it, but we'll
Really?
have to wait till
Mamba
next
has.
year. Yeah, yeah. He told me to DM. But he
Oh, Mamba
because
sliding in your
other
DMs.
other people have right? Mama Smith, Big Mama. But he was on Harvick's team when he won the championship. He was part of that group for years, and he's been a racer himself. So like I what I can't understand is how Mamba can say what he says all the time. And that's part of what I want to have a discussion, like a genuine debate about, is when you say when the lights are the brightest and the moment is biggest, the big time folks step up and da 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 da. And you're constantly comparing it to other Game 7 moments. Well, even this World Series that just finished, they had 7 consecutive opportunities. One game didn't decide it. There were 7 total opportunities, depending on how they cards fell, for either team to come out the victor. And the more important part is the other teams in the leagues weren't out there intercepting balls, throwing other pitches and everything. That's not how racing works. I equated it to, it's like you have the Dolphins versus the Patriots, or Patriots versus the Giants for the championship, and somebody from an opposing team that's not even on the field that day comes out and pulls the football out from in front of the kicker on the winning field goal. That's the equivalent of racing. You don't have that in any other sport. And last night we saw, at least today's race with the cup race, every one of those 4 guys were deserving in one way or another. The only guy who was absent from that I would have added would have been Christopher Bell. Most points scored in the playoffs. Should have been in there, but you don't have 5 spots, you got 4. I can't say that about last night. There were plenty of other people, like really, there was only one deserving guy last night. Or,
Damn there.
yeah, that's the one. Sure. Put his foot in his mouth and all kinds of shit. Like, what
I'm
did you?
sorry.
Hey, somebody
Uh,
got their payback on him, whether
Yep.
he was driving the car or
Right. They
yeah.
they they parked that car. He just wasn't in
Do you
it.
guys think that's what happened? Do you think they forgot he wasn't in the car?
I kind of do because that
Yeah.
was where he hit him. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he drove. I mean, there's no way you didn't drive. There's no way you drove that far in the corner and it was not intentional. It's just there's no
Yeah.
way.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. And then I think to myself, like, what the hell did Ryan Sieg do to anybody? Like, this is the guy you never hear anything bad
Yeah.
about him.
He
Running
never
in
wrecked
fucking
either.
ninth place, running in ninth place and got fucking run over.
Yep.
I was surprised to not see him do better in that car. It kind of
Yeah.
had a Corey LaJoy in the 9 feel.
Not
Yep.
really though. I mean, I really don't think so because I think at that point if he would have finished that car in the top 10, I mean, granted,
He
Mayer
finishes
goes
his
out,
own car in the top 10.
well, close to, yes.
No, he
But
does. I mean,
Yeah, he does typically between 7th and 11th.
yeah.
yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. I was thinking you put this kid, and I was telling Alan. I don't know if you listened to our last week's show, Chris, but I was telling Alan that if you put this guy Ryan Sieg in a better car, he's going to win more races and he's going to be a contender. And then he gets into 41 and doesn't look any different than he does in the 39.
I kind of put that
I
not
mean,
on him, but
but
I kind of yeah.
other than you're going into it, where I was looking at it is, I think Ryan Sieg's also a guy that's not going to go out and take a chance on.
Tearing up
I
something.
think,
Yeah.
well, not only tearing up something, but it's a fucking championship race. I'm going to go out here and potentially fuck up somebody's night,
Yep.
fuck up
I
somebody's
just, I
championship
just
doing
looked at
something
it
stupid.
as a good way of potentially
I
getting out of your
I
family team and going somewhere else.
I think it was a great opportunity. I just think the last race of the season was horrible fucking timing.
Right. It's kind of like, yeah,
A
a
great
similar
opportunity, but
situation
the
with
wrong
Corey.
but the wrong time for that opportunity to arise.
Alan, can
Yep.
you pull it up? How did Kyle Sieg do in the 39?
Let me
11th.
look. Because the other part of that is I do feel like some of that is on the 41 team themselves. Like I'm just how important team dynamics are. If we're going into the final race of the season and our driver just got us, basically got himself suspended, like I'm kind of deflated. Like fuck, like just can the season be over? So I'm waiting for it. My browser's all locked up. Whatever.
He told us. He said 11th.
Okay.
I saw he was running 11th. I don't know if that's where he actually officially finished or not, but that he
Who
was
ended up?
running.
Who even drove the 28, Chris?
Stephen Light, the guy that actually was driving the
Okay.
oh 07. Yeah,
Okay.
So
So who's
one
driving
thing,
the 07?
or Stephen Light, Nick Lights. Sorry.
one thing about these races this weekend,
Wow, when's the last
and we
time
saw
Stephen
it
Light was even
primarily.
around?
Well, I mean, we
Sorry.
saw it with Connor Mozak in the truck race, and then with Yaley and with Mears and some others. If Cup guys can't go down and run in the junior leagues playoffs, to me, back markers shouldn't be allowed to fucking run in the premier final race either because they are most certainly going to impact the outcome. We
You
had
got a 10% chance. Yeah.
He finished
110% chance.
12th.
Yep. So, um, yeah, yeah, last night I couldn't believe JRM coughed it up. That was big. And I'm sure Dale's sitting there like,
Uh,
how the hell did that happen?
And the thing with JRM, the 88 specifically, you've had to know him for 10 weeks
Oh yeah.
with the point lead he had and all that, and the bonus points. You're going to be involved in Phoenix. Why was your car off?
Yeah.
Same goes, and I know Larson won the championship, but same goes for Larson.
Yeah.
Supposedly Cliff had worked on this car for, and I said this in our chat. Cliff worked on this car for 6 weeks, and it's this trashy. Like I don't get it. Like I don't understand how you can work on a car that long. And in the '88 and Xfinity series, like there's no way they didn't work on that car the entire playoffs,
Well, I
and
figured
it
out
wasn't
why
a winning car.
the five car was so slow. It's because he had Chase's engine under the hood. It has that depressive attitude. Oh, gee, guys, I'm just here to run the car and I'm gonna go.
It wasn't the engine. They were hitting the red chip down the back
Yeah,
straightaway on restarts, and I'm like,
right.
Dude,
what are
But
you?
I heard
Chase
that
only
too.
races to this much. Larson's racing to this much.
So
Clearly.
I wasn't I didn't have the in car the stuff that you have, but they showed a couple replays and I'm thinking, do they have? I mean, what did they do to the gearing of that car? Because I
He
heard
was
it a
in
couple
fifth
times.
gear. He was in fifth gear hitting rev chip about, I want to say, 30 yards from the corner.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And he did that almost all day, hitting the
yes.
rev chip. I'm like, well, no wonder you fucking suck.
It's
Yep.
almost like it's I don't well actually I don't think it's the wrong gear. I think somebody they put a wrong just a rev limiter in the system
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep. They've got it. They just got the torque mapping wrong.
When I watched the 24, he never hit a rev chip once.
No, and neither did Denny. You could
So
hear it.
it kind of makes you wonder if, I mean, his car wasn't handling good, but it kind of makes you wonder how he would have done if he's not hitting a rev chip in the back straightaway.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't blow it up, being that he was on the rev chip, because that's usually what makes it
Doesn't the
overheat.
rev chip keep you from blowing it up?
Whenever you peg
Yeah,
sometimes, but when you peg it, and that's what he's doing the whole way back, and you're going, which is what he's doing, then
He
it'll,
wasn't hitting it every lap, but it was like
yeah.
probably one out of every 6 or 7. It was like,
So, and now we're on
definitely on
to
restart. So, truck series,
Heim Time,
time.
who doesn't, 12 wins and doesn't have a full-time ride for next year, at least not that's announced.
Well, he doesn't have a full time ride on Denny's Accord.
Right.
because of his contract. But he is running a race in everything.
I mean, that's just a shame in itself. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing left for him to accomplish now that he's got the championship that that Carson Hocevar cost him a couple years ago.
But
Uh,
if Denny quits like you think he's going to, he's got to ride.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that it couldn't happen because it very well could.
Mm.
I would have a hard time if
It's
I'm him. I would probably need till February, regardless of what happens with the lawsuit, before I would know, or not February, but at least like after the new year before I make a decision on what I'm doing.
not only that, but if his dad is in bad a shape as they talk about, although they really nobody's ultimately said other than he's terminal. I
Yep.
think if his dad passes before next season, he might not even come back. What I have left to prove, I don't have my dad here. Even if I did win it, I don't have my dad here to enjoy it with.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
yeah, I mean if I were to have to give you an idea of what I think right now, I think he said, "Sorry, Gibbs, I know I signed a 2-year deal. Can't do it. I can't do it."
Yep. It'll be interesting to hear what he says on actions detrimental on Monday because I'm very, very interested to hear his mindset because I think it's very similar to a Carl Edwards. Like I gave that
I
everything I had and it
I
still
have a
wasn't
feeling
enough.
that episode won't come out tomorrow.
Probably not.
If it does, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
If it
Yep.
does, I will give him even more props than I am now. I mean, he should have won the championship today.
Yep.
I can't say it enough. I'm stoked that Larson did, but he should have won it. I would have been happy that he won it. I would have been happy for him, but I, I'll be shocked. So high time.
Yep.
Back to him. So
So Connor
caution comes out
Mozak
late.
almost screws Heim out of his rightful championship. He's up there leading. Connor Mozak fucking around,
I don't know,
has
Zach.
damage, has a similar to Byron, has a tire going down. He has more warning than Byron does. He's got the smoke, he's got the fender rubbing and everything, and he stays out on track knowing that it's going to blow a tire.
So I have
And
a question.
yep,
Chris, you might know this better than me and Alan.
Yep.
Is Mozak a teammate to Ankrum? The numbers look similar, is why I'm asking.
I
He's
think he is.
81 and Ankrum is 18.
I think they are.
Makes
So
Because
sense.
the whole team was called to the
how
huddle.
ironic that the 81 Rex with 3 to go
Yep.
or 2 to go or whatever it was, you know.
Well, and even when you have the booth is saying that his team was screaming at him to get down.
Yeah,
The booth said it. That
yeah.
well, because that part of the broadcast I did, well, like I said, I watched the very end, and he's like, no, and the team's on the radio yelling at him to get down. Yeah, he got down. Oh, and he goes right back up. Even Michael Waltrip said it, and he goes right back up. It's like, okay, so what were you doing?
Yep.
Yeah, it gives me bad vibes. If he is a teammate, I don't know if he is.
He is. He is.
Okay.
I looked it up. He is a
Okay.
teammate.
So
So that's
Yeah,
why the
that's
whole
what
that
team was
looks
called.
really bad that a team car to a
Yep.
guy that's in the championship wrecks. And I know William Byron wrecked today, but that's totally
I was.
fucking different.
Yep. A
Yeah.
Like,
team car that's not in contention for the championship stays out, causes a caution that gets your teammate back into it. Heim took 4 tires. I mean, made unbelievable passes to get back up
when
there.
he took 4, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah,
I
when
literally yelled it. I was like, "What are you?" Me and my fiance were watching a movie, and I'm like, "I gotta pause it. What the hell is he doing?"
yep, I was like, well, here we go. And when he made that
And,
pass to get back up front, I'm like, whew, crisis averted. We're one
dude,
for three.
the size of his balls have to be there.
Is he related to Paul?
Big ball
Big
Paul.
ball, Paul. Yeah.
Yep.
Geez, so was it 7 wide? 7
Yeah,
wide.
Seven,
7 wide.
seven wide.
Phoenix International Raceway. This is the mile raceway, folks.
Yep, seven
What
wide.
the fuck?
Let's not even get
And
started about track
and then
limits
he
and how
gets another
fucking
caution, and pretty
ridiculous.
much
Yep.
the next caution actually gave it to him because
Yeah.
There's no way 2 tires is holding him off.
Yeah.
And like
It-
I don't know if you all heard his interview. He said, "I don't care if we were on 100 lap tires. Nobody's taking this championship from me."
yep. Yep. I, very, very happy for him. Well deserved. I wish we got to celebrate Zillich like that last night. That didn't happen. Um,
And that kind of brings me back to Cup a little bit.
yeah.
I'm glad that Denny hadn't won 10 races. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that there was these 4 drivers were the best 4 all year.
Mhm.
Like they were. Like
Yeah, it wasn't like
there
2018 with
wasn't
3 and me with Joey Logano
yeah,
and
there
yep.
wasn't a car in there that wasn't deserving.
No.
Like we all agree Jesse Love, he deserves to win the championship under the rules that we're under. But Jesse Love didn't do anything outside of Daytona.
Well, to compare the numbers, there were 33 races in the Xfinity Series this year. Connor won 31% of them. Jesse Love, prior to last night, won 1.032%. So and this was the point I was making to people that were saying that Jesse Love was a deserving champion. It was an indictment on him so much as the system. Again, in no other fucking playoff universe would somebody that's 1 and 32 get to match up with somebody that is 10 and, and 20. Like that wouldn't
Except
happen.
except if you look at Kansas championship.
Yeah. Well, in a straight normal
Kansas Kansas
36
wins
race
one
playoff,
race
that's fine.
to Ryan Newman's 7.
Right.
Well, and
But
that was, but
but you had
yeah,
36
because
cumulative races. I'm talking in a
Yeah,
bracket championship,
yeah, I get,
NCAA, NHL, MLS. Not there is no system out there where somebody who's won one event all game can be like 1 and 40 and I get to play the best team. That doesn't happen. You still have to be at least
yeah.
mid-pack when we do like March Madness to be like the upset versus that's just insane.
I mean,
So,
because ultimately, if you look at it, with that restart that Larson had today, it goes back to kind of put into perspective what you were talking about earlier. We don't have a sport, no matter what series you're running. We don't have a sport like any other sport. So basically, where I would say what happened to Larson today. Did the Ulta? Is that everybody going to say he deserved to win? No. You could already watch it on fucking Facebook before we even got on here.
oh yeah.
But literally, they took the chance. They took that chance at the end of the race when it was presented to them to take the 2 tires again, come out where they did, and I ultimately think he fucking went. He was going to go through, and he was going to win that race. Other than you had another team right as the pitch comes out, fucking runs out, and a dude for that's not even playing in your series, he's playing for a whole different team, just run out and bunted the ball right in front of you by Brad Keselowski and those guys not even taking
Mhm.
fucking tires at all.
Yep.
That I mean,
Yeah.
but
Where
yeah,
both of them had to
Not
line up.
only not only was it Brad, but it was the 48. It was
yeah,
the who
yeah.
else was it? Who else was it? There's 2 other cars.
Well,
The
that
48,
was
the
the more
sixth, and two
perplexing.
others.
No, there was only one other. There was only 3 that took no tires.
Well, to me,
All
that's the
right,
one that really
3.
perplexed me is that Bowman stayed out. You have
Well, so
two
so
of
the
your
when
two
they
of
were
your
coming when
teammates
they were
were
coming to the
yeah.
choose cone, Cliff asked him, "Do you want inside or outside?" And I think they had a deal worked up with the 48 to pick whatever line. And Larson said, "I don't know, I don't know, I don't know," and it was too late, and he chose high side. And me and Chris are having a meltdown.
Oh,
Yep.
dude, I fucking came uncorked, dude.
Well, I was
And
I
more
did.
pissed that his teammate stayed out, knowing that he had no tires.
the
And
teammate staying out ended up being the help because when
Yeah,
Larson split him, that is what stopped the 11 from getting to him.
yeah.
right, but
Other than Joey on the front stretch when they took the
right.
green.
Well, it worked out, but I mean that could have gone wrong in a bunch of different ways. Like to me,
Oh yeah,
if I'm Mr. H, that car you haven't had a fast car all day. You've had tire problems all day. I do not want you impacting my chances at another trophy and all the money that goes with it.
Yeah,
I would
you
be
take
telling
the
Bowman, I would be telling Blake Harris, Bowman's crew chief, like, park that fucking car, get out of the way, bring it down, put four tires on it, but you are not going to fuck this up for us. Because if he spins the tires, he holds up the line Larson's in. If he spins the tires and they get in a wreck and he takes Larson out, like it worked out, but it had a lot
Going
of ways it could have not.
going back and watching it now, if Larson picks the inside, then he wins championship.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
yeah, because the
Zero
bottom
doubt in
line
my
got
mind.
clogged up. Yep.
Zero doubt in my mind. Then he wins championship. Obviously, no way to actually know that, but
Well, we'll just
so
rerun it on NASCAR 25 now that's out. Import some data and go.
God, that game is frustrating me right now. You you get the cup and
come on,
you win the day.
go,
I won the Daytona 500 in my first start
come on, go.
with a level one car,
Oh, you
Well,
pulled
and
an
then
Austin. You pulled an Austin Cinder.
yes, unbelievable. Couldn't
Brad
believe it.
Keselowski. Yep.
I won Talladega
Trevor
as
Bayne.
well with a level five car. But like the way that game works is so silly. Like you make it to cup and you have to start level one. Have to. Stupid. Anyway,
We're
um,
off the rails.
off the rails. So
Yep.
so Heim wins. Heim wins. Comes from I think it was actually 11th that he came from.
Yeah.
So he
Yep.
comes from 11th to second in one corner,
Yep.
and a caution comes out, and he ends up winning the championship. But another thing that we have to look at here is there was a time with like 30 something to go or 40 to go where the 34 was leading and could have won the owners championship. The
Yep.
34 was in a champ like he was going to win the owners championship. He wasn't in it for the drivers, but the like. Could you imagine? Would there have been any hailstorm if the 34 wins the owners title and the 11 wins the drivers? Like,
And the
like you
34
said
gets
earlier,
knocked
we've
out
got
by
to
a
get
fucking
rid of this
tiebreaker.
split shit.
Yep.
Like, it's
Well,
stupid.
I think the 34 is going to have bigger problems come Wednesday because they had that extra plate in the floor of the car. So they're getting ready to get hammered with a fucking massive penalty because both the
How
crew
many
chief
bills they
and
have this year? Like 20?
I don't remember, but this is going to be a big one. This is going to be an L1 or an L2. This is
That
going to,
that crew chief is going to be out of a job.
yeah, that crew chief and that car chief they both got thrown out for the weekend, so they're going to be in trouble. I would say Mozak and McAnally, they're in big fucking trouble.
Oh, is that McAnally
Yeah,
in the
that was
19?
yeah, the 81 and the 18 are
In the
McAnally.
19.
Well,
No
Okay.
19,
sack.
yeah,
Connor
yeah.
no
So
sack.
they're in trouble with what they did. So Connor Nosak. So it should be a big penalty day, and then we'll see if there's anything from Cup. I don't think there would be. And then, while Denny's at the highest of highs, other than coming up, just a position short necessary, 2311 ran like dog shit. They were awful.
Say again. Who was?
2311. His team ran awful today. Bubba had his
Well,
problems.
did
Reddick
he
finally cut
actually
his
ever
hair,
end
but he
up
got to start
blowing the
going
engine
faster.
or what?
I don't remember. I just know they were
Yeah, he
not.
finished last. I have
Yeah.
a friend that he's a huge Bubba hater, and he said, "What a beautiful day! Larson wins the title. Bubba finishes
Finishes
last.
last.
Can't get any better than
Well, I
that."
saw I saw Tyler Reddick finally decided to cut his hair. Maybe he thinks it'll help him speed back up because obviously having that mullet all year has not helped him.
Yeah,
So, uh,
and I'm glad his son is okay. By the way, like
same.
that's
Yeah, yeah. It makes you wonder like how that's impacted his performance for the year, similar to the lawsuit thing. Like
the fact
if
that he even made the playoffs with all that
yeah,
going on and made it as far as he did is just
yeah.
I
So
don't know, man. I'd have a hard time. I mean, this would be a dream job for me if I ever had the opportunity to be where any of these guys are, and to just not be able to. I mean, I understand what the obligations they've signed a contract, but to not just turn around and be like, I don't give a fuck. You guys can go fuck yourself. I've got shit I have to go take care of at home. That yeah, that, I don't.
and
I don't
Denny's
know if
been
I could.
okay with it.
well, that's just it. So I'm not gonna. Well, you know what I am as a father who lost a son. I genuinely question what the hell he's thinking. I know for a fact that if my child were laying in the ICU, there is nothing you could do to get me away from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you're
Same for
paying me.
Chris. Same for
If
me.
that's my dream sitting over there, if I was good enough to get there once, I can get there again. But like, if he passes away while I'm in a race car, something that doesn't fucking matter, that's trivial to like my family life, like that's one of those like it truly makes me think that Tyler needs to sit down and just look at what Denny did for Mexico. I'm not going to miss the birth of my third child. I don't have to. I have the ability to control this situation. His
Well,
win.
here's hold on.
Yep.
The Denny situation, we he did not need to miss that race. The boy was fucking born on Wednesday.
Right. But the point is, I'm far enough, I'm well off enough. I'm far enough along in my career that I can make that decision for myself. Let's not pretend Tyler Reddick is poor. Tyler Reddick got a very nice contract from 2311 and made a lot of money from Richard Childress and JRM in the process as a two-time champion and winning all those races with RCR. So it's not like Tyler Reddick is hurting for money or that his child would not be receiving the world's best health care possible, again, because of his connections, salary. Like the NASCAR garage as a whole has access to any number of children's hospitals that are funded by Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, like all these guys through their careers. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
because
with
I
you,
don't know
Chris.
that
I
they'd
don't
be
know
getting.
what in the world he's thinking. Like, there's nothing you're going to do on that track that is more important than being beside your son while they're in the ICU, especially if something doesn't go the right way.
Yeah, that kind of baffled me. I mean, other than yeah, Reddick didn't have a win this year, so he barely scraped in on points. So I get if he would have missed the race, it probably would have knocked him out. He wouldn't have made the championship. But again, who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Hate to tear into somebody like that. I really do. But like having lived through that and on the other side, I have one child instead of two. Like to me, I think you don't understand what you have till you lose it. And I think he's
Yep.
kind of privileged in this regard, like kind of just disconnected from reality on what's really important. But anyway, um, so now we head into the off season. Did you all? Oh, so this was the last Xfinity race. It came out that every time those guys said fast as Xfinity mobile, they got, I think,
Thousand
600
dollars.
bucks, like $600 or something like that.
I thought it was 1,000.
It might have been
I
more,
thought it was a
but
thousand
they were
too.
talking about all the money that Connor and Zilich got this year for the bonuses. And then you saw all the practice, the pre-practice for the recordings and everything.
Uncle
Um,
Sam got most of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They get 40% of every time they open their mouth, just like the Coke deal. But still, like that's
God, I can't stand watching Joey Logano do an interview.
yep. He's got to do it with the pinky up though.
Yep. I'm sorry I don't have Prime as primary today. I got
I got one with a P.
Elijah.
Popeyes. Make
I
Popeyes
got
proud.
Elijah Craig is championship worthy.
So, anything else from this weekend's final race you want to talk about?
I'm curious on format real quick before we go. Um, Chris, we sort of talked about it last week, but what is your want for next year's format? Do you want 36? Do you want a 10
36.
race chase? Or do you
36.
want 334? And
36.
why? And why?
36 because I think you already said it. If I haven't seen the numbers, but if what you said is true and everybody's pissed off at the way this championship happened, they're pissed that Kyle Larson walked away with the fucking trophy today. But if you go by the old points, he would have walked away with the trophy anyways. That answers your fucking question.
Yeah.
Yep.
This current
I
point state this
that
this current points with the stages and everything, he wins the championship. Now, under the Winston Cup format, Bell wins.
Yep.
Under the Chase format, Larson wins. Chase and current the way they do the points, 36 race, Larson wins both. So Larson wins all three.
And from
well,
what I
so
saw
case in
something this
point.
weekend that one of the crew members from another team had already said that we're going back to 36, that that's the
Really?
final decision. Yep. They mentioned it in the garage. I'll have to go back and find it. I'll wait till that's actually official before I
Yeah,
celebrate, but
I'd be interested because uh
I think they're going to do
because
3-3-4.
they started talking about it on Truck Series evening after the championship that like the internal discussion was we're going back to 36.
I think
But
they're
with
going
the
to do three
caveats
three
we've
four.
mentioned before, like winning your in is gone because
Well,
well, because it's gone altogether anyway. But they are going to increase the amount of points you get for winning to still have the emphasis on winning,
okay.
so that you could make up large gaps,
okay.
which is good. So if they do that, I think that's the best way, not just because of this format, but because if you're serious, based off of what Steve O'Donnell said and what Phelps has said and what NASCAR media as a whole has said, the recognition that you left your fans behind, and we just celebrated the 75th anniversary of this sport. It worked for 50 years. For 50 years, there was nothing
Worked
wrong
for
with it.
65 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
65.
Then we added 10 more to it, and we still, even though we had a cutoff, we still had a natural run to the end with the chase. It wasn't gimmicked up, to the extent it is now. There wasn't the way of the eliminations and the resets and everything.
I
So
I want 36, but
same.
I would be okay with the chase because and only if it's by points, not winning or in nonsense. And I- like you just said, wins need to matter more,
Yep.
and leading laps needs to matter. We've talked about it earlier this season.
Yep.
If you can lead like Denny today, say today Denny leads all these laps and cautions happen, and he cautions lap with 10 laps to go in both stages. He pits and doesn't get any stage points.
Yep.
How much sense does that make? It doesn't make any. You need to get a point for leading laps, some
Yep.
type of points for leading laps, and you get some types of points for leading the most laps.
Oh,
If you
Yep.
oh,
can't do that, then
Well,
it's
I just go
stupid.
back to 1992 when Allison lost, when Bell Elliott lost, and when Kawicki won, because Alan Kawicki needed to lead one more lap.
Mhm.
That's how
He led
important leading
he
a
led
lap.
one more lap and won a championship.
Yep. That's how important that was, and
And it's
they abandoned it.
second closest championship in the history of the sport,
Yep.
next to the chase format with Stewart and
Yeah.
Edwards.
Yep.
so I have a
So
question, guys.
yeah.
I'll answer it.
This was brought up at a couple points during the weekend. I heard it, but I know we've touched base on it before in in previous shows. But the simple fact that I agree with bringing back uh, the points for leading a lap, just a lot of the stuff that we did in the past that was proven it worked, just like we talked about. But the simple fact that they moved the line at the end of pit road and you now really don't have an ultimate advantage on pit road anymore for qualifying first. So what's the fucking point?
What's the question?
If they're going to take that advantage away by moving the line away from the first pit box, because then everybody behind you now has momentum coming down pit road.
So
Well,
I I think they moved it too far. I think that they took the advantage away, like you just said.
yeah.
I think they should give you. I think they should bring it. So I don't know what they. Let's say they moved it 10 feet. That's too
Well, they
far.
did two things,
If
but go
I
ahead.
don't know how far it was, but let's say it was 10 feet. Then you moved to 5.
Yep.
I do think that the poll gave you too much help. Okay, but like you just said, Chris, it should mean something. So I do think they moved it too far away. So take half of it back and give 5 of it back or whatever it is. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the distance is.
I know they moved
But
it because primary pit stall there had too much of an advantage. The problem with that is,
They did it everywhere though, Alan.
well, no, I'm not. I know, but at certain tracks, it's way more an advantage than others. Certain ones based on the shape of the pit
Yeah,
lanes.
but it's not an advantage anywhere anymore. They
Right, but
moved
for
it at
this
every
track, it's a
racetrack.
double penalty because first you took away the advantage of qualifying on the pole. Then for the championship race, you said it doesn't matter where you qualify, the final four get to pick pit stalls first. Well,
Yep.
if I qualify 30th out of the regular group, why the hell do I get to pick fourth and I qualified 30th?
That was
I
my
agree.
It's
question.
I always thought
another
that was
fucking
stupid.
dumbass thing that they did to for parity that doesn't make any sense. Oh, we're going to let them all pick so that there's no disadvantage between the final four. No, if you show up, if the whole thing is when the lights are brightest, again, use their own mantra against them. If the lights are
Poor
so
Mamba.
fucking bright that you rise to the occasion, then you don't need me to handicap you and hand you a fourth, really good pit stall. You're
Yep.
going to make it up on your own, right? I mean, what the fuck?
Either that, I think they either need to give back or they need to either take back some of the distance that they fucking gave them, or it goes right back to you want to leave the line where it's at, then fucking 2 points for a fucking pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see them as I would like to see
I
them
think in
award
the
a
off
point for a
season
pole
they're going to
position.
change. They're obviously going to change the format, but I think they're going to add points to the winner, like you said, Alan. And I think they're going to add. I think if they're smart, they'll give you points for leading and leading the most laps. They'll bring that shit back.
If you wanted to give me the best of all three formats we've had in totality, I would take us back to 36 races, give us more like a significant bump for winning a race, put back the point you earned for leading a lap, the 5 points for leading the most laps, leading it halfway, and I would get rid of
Stop
stage
the fucking
cautions.
stage breaks. God
Yep, I would get
damn it.
rid of stage cautions. The stage points is fine. Stage points aren't the problem because I agree you should get something for performing well all day.
Yeah, because even Junior brought that up. That
You
getting
know,
rid of, I mean, keeping the stages there, give them
but
the opportunity to earn those stage points, but get rid of the fucking breaks.
everybody likes to in the NASCAR media that is beholden to them likes to say how the stage cautions are such a good thing. Stage cautions, and you will never convince me of this otherwise, but stage cautions have made it to where if you tell me the length of the race, where the stage breaks are, I can tell you the pit stops before it ever happens, other than a weekend like this with this crazy ass tire. Most of the time,
Yeah.
with that harder tire, I could tell you exactly when they're going to pit based on where they're at in the points, and what they need is who's going to flip the stages and who's not.
What lap did they put on in stage one today? Oh, at the stage break. Oh, how
Yeah.
about that?
Yep.
Yep, they ran all
Damn.
the way to 60.
And then it was 135 or 125 lap stage, and they had two or three cautions in it, but they were going to stop halfway through that stage. And
Yeah, they're
then
going to
on
split it in
stage
half.
three, they were going to split it in half or split it in thirds. Wow,
And
so hard.
yep, and the thing everybody's complaint was we need the stage cautions to break up the race because the cars don't fail anymore. The reason why the cars don't fail is you don't let them run long enough to fucking fail.
Yep.
If you keep running a whole bunch of mini sprints, the brakes never get hot enough. The tires barely wear out. The transmission never gets hot enough. The
hmm
water coolers never get hot enough for running that long in
It,
succession. You
Speaking
know,
of, are we all shocked that Denny's clutch didn't give out today?
I really thought that was going to be the thing that
I
took him out. I kept
I
waiting
am
for
too.
him to.
I was. I mean, as I was just like waiting for that clutch to just screw him on a pit stop. I was like, how has this not hurt him yet?
Yeah,
And not only that, they've had this
his
issue for
restarts
like
with
a
it were
month now.
unbelievable.
They've had this issue for a month now. Well, they don't use the clutch on restarts.
No, but
They literally don't use it. They just pull the damn lever back. They don't.
yeah.
These aren't the Jericho transmissions of old that you had to clutch. Like the only place the clutch helps is SVG on road courses.
So,
Tell me
I
I'm wrong. Go ahead, tell me.
You're wrong.
I'm not. I'm not
no.
wrong. It's okay.
So what else from this weekend?
I don't have much. I got to go here soon.
Yeah, I feel like that recaps our anger for the
Yeah,
season finale.
I don't
Makes
have
life
a lot
easier.
of anger.
Yeah,
Um,
you have less than the rest of us. Uh,
well, Chris is happy about it too.
yeah, I'm not. You know what? Of the cars, there isn't a bad looking car that I would have been upset with putting on my winner take all shelf.
We all know you wanted that 24 on your winner take all because of the flames. Don't
I kind
lie.
of did, but I wanted that big old P for a pussy. Here comes Denny with the pussy wagon. All right, it's on the outside, making the back.
And this was our last episode. Thanks a lot, Alan.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
If we didn't get canceled earlier in
Alan,
the year with Chris, we're good.
Alan was looking.
Nothing's been taken down.
Alan was looking at getting that P for D,
Yeah.
the P for Denny.
So, oh man. Yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about because I'm assuming after the banquet we'll get a clearer picture on what the format's going to be.
I
NASCAR,
heard the format won't be announced till January.
Yeah, that's what Bianchi. That's why I was going to touch on that a little earlier when you talked about it. Bianchi's the one that said that they basically made it clear that they're not going to announce shit till after the first of the year
well, they
because
Yeah,
won't,
they
but
I think they're waiting on see what this lawsuit does.
yep.
And two, I think they're still debating. According to Bianchi last week, they're still talking. They don't have a thing set out. So
Well, before we go, did we get into our episode last week into the money portion now that the
well,
financials
yes,
are out?
yes, we
do
did.
I
Okay.
need to get a hold of your mom, Blake, and see if she can send you out there for the trial, or not for the trial, but for the figuring out the next season?
I don't understand.
You are a
Oh,
master debater.
oh, yeah, that, yeah, that's for you, buddy.
But yeah, now that the financials are starting to come out, I'm very interested to see how fast NASCAR moves to reconcile because their court
Oh,
case got tossed out. Yeah,
it'll be settled within a week before the trial date.
it's gonna have to be.
Not
But
settled. Not settled. Is that settled? Yeah, settlement. Yeah, yep, yep.
can
Well,
you?
hopefully we get Brian back.
Well, one last thing. Yeah, you know for sure that even though I'm sure they really wanted to be able to, NASCAR knew damn well if they touched that caution button for anything other than a big fucking incident with Denny Leadon coming to that championship, that all hell was going to break loose.
Oh yeah.
So at least it was something that bailed them out that was visible. You could show on track. Like here's the 24 high speed bouncing off the wall.
Well, so so the state of the sport. I got to go, but I got to
Yeah,
bring this up. Did you watch the state of the sport, Alan?
I didn't watch all of it. I got clips.
So some news reporter. Oh my God, they had well, it was a girl, so they didn't have balls. Maybe I don't know. So this
Hey,
woman asked. This
you
woman
can't just
asked.
assume
She
that. You
said,
cannot assume that, dude. You can't
"I'm
assume that.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Trying to get
I
us
blame it.
canceled?
Balls or
I blame it
cobalts.
on the liquor. I blame it
And
on the
you-
liquor."
and you're going to say
So
I'm going to get us canceled.
We
she asked
collectively.
Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps if Denny Hamlin admits that he is an habitual pit road speeder. If Denny Hamlin speeds on pit road during the championship race, do you worry that you're going to be with the legal proceedings going on?
I
Are
heard
you
about this.
worried that there might be something going on? Steve O'Donnell quickly went, no.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fun time to be in NASCAR for them. I tell you what.
Oh my God.
This has been the
That
year of chaos for sure.
I was enjoying that damn show, like that damn state of the sport because they are so blind. They are
Yep.
so blind at what's really going on. I'm sitting here happy my driver won the championship, but at the same time, it's like you guys have no clue how to run this fucking thing. If you
Nope.
gave me, you, and Chris the reins, this sport would just take back off.
Yeah.
It would.
You
I
need
would
it to be run
I
by
would I
people.
would first raise the cars off the fucking ground. Chris would take the damn underbody off, and you'd give them more horsepower.
And
Bam,
smaller
fixed.
wheels. Yep.
Yeah, fixed. Boom.
Yep. And anywhere the car didn't race well, we wouldn't fucking go. I'd be like, we created a monopoly, right? We bought all these fucking tracks. I can pick. So I'm going to only places to put on the best product. If I put only nothing but good shows, everybody will just show up.
Okay, so now where do you guys think that concept came from? Because I've heard a couple people bring it up this year, and Alan just brought
What
it up again.
concept?
Which part?
Just not going to the racetracks again. Okay, so hold on a minute. So we went through when we had the best racing in the fucking series was
Mhm.
on short tracks across the fucking series. So what do? We over fucking flooded the market with fucking mile and a half. We built them and built them and built them and just kept implementing them in the fucking system when that wasn't the best racing at the time. They
Yep.
finally went through, fucked us over, and built a car that performs
Exceptional.
marginally better at the mile and a half, but now has destroyed the short tracks. And they're just saying, yeah, we maybe we shouldn't go to short tracks anymore. What the? How much more do you want to fucking separate yourself from the base fans of your sport? Where do you think most of the fucking people across the country even get interested in fucking NASCAR? Guess what? It said a fucking local short track. So you're just
Oh,
going
I
to get
don't
rid
think
of
the
short
short tracks
tracks?
are where we shouldn't be going. I think the road
No.
courses are where we shouldn't be going.
Well,
The
no.
car does not race
That'll
well
I
on road courses.
no. Well, that either, but I've actually heard that I've heard more of them
Well,
saying
yeah.
they want to get rid of the fucking short tracks than the fucking road courses, and that baffled me. I've heard it a couple times this year.
I just want to go
Yeah,
to Kentucky Speedway.
I'm with you. I they've talked about that, but yeah, we finally get more short tracks, but then you give me a car that doesn't run well on the short tracks when we've been asking for it for so long, but then you give me a car that won't run well on there. Meanwhile, you give me two more restrictor plate races. And the irony of that is that the best restrictor plate racing we have is on the new track that nobody fucking asked for.
Yep.
Meanwhile, your two classic tracks that used to produce phenomenal racing aren't worth shit.
Yeah.
Your Daytona, you've
Well,
completely devalued the Daytona 500 because they can't fucking pass. It's just a show. And you got people like Michael Waltrip on Fox going, it doesn't matter to the casual fan if they can't pass because they don't know any better. Right.
and
Right.
by the way, we're going to move it back another week in 27 because of President's Day, because that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Best thing they could do is run it on the same day as the Super Bowl. Run the race in
Oh,
the
I'm
morning,
telling
put the
you, that would
football
be the
later.
best thing. The
Yep.
best thing. Like, I don't understand why they haven't like put it in their head. Nobody cares about the pregame bullshit during NFL, like
Yep.
the
Especially if
pregame.
they're both Fox. Like you've got this conglomerate of
You could
all-star
run the Daytona
talent.
500 on Fox, whether the Super Bowl is on Fox or NBC or
Yep.
CBS. You can run it on Fox and run it at 1 o'clock, and you'll have so many fucking viewers, and you won't do it because you're worried about being against them. You're not against them, you're before them. It's stupid. Like, how
Yep.
ignorant can they be?
Yep. Instead of just continually pushing it back, what they ought to do is take the Daytona cutoff race, make it the Daytona 500, and you run the Daytona 500. If we're going to attend, this is only if we're going to a 10 race chase. The last race before the chase starts is the Daytona 500. The weather
They'll
is
never
great
win it.
that time of year. It's hot. The track will be slick. Instead of getting rained
It
out like we
doesn't
do every
matter if
goddamn
you don't
February.
make handling matter.
Well, that's just it. In February, in August and September in Daytona and down in the South, it's hot, it's humid, the tracks are greasy. In February, I've lived in the South. It only does one thing in February, fucking rain. And we've seen that all
Yeah.
the time.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yep. Well, appreciate it, gentlemen. It's been a fun year, a little chaotic. I look
I
forward to doing some
enjoyed
off-season stuff.
this first season of Unfiltered.
Yep. I
It's a year
appreciate
ago.
y'all.
I believe it might be a year ago this week that we had our first show, Alan, with me on your phone and talking about the chaos that happened at Martinsville. But it's been
Yep.
fun. I can't wait to continue it.
Yep. Same. Y'all have a good evening, and we will see what new news comes to us, and we'll make some plans for some, off-season content because there's going to be a lot of happenings to discuss. So there's lawsuit outcomes, potential team sales, all kinds of stuff. So until next time,
Larson,
y'all,
number one.
Larson, ish, one ish.
Lost
Make
another
prime
three.
primary.
Make prime primary. All right. Good night.